Okay, so I need you to stop what you're doing right now because what's about to hit this weekend is absolutely nuts. We're talking about a winter storm that meteorologists are literally calling a once-in-a-decade event, and it's happening in 4 days. If you're in any of these 22 cities from Texas all the way up to DC, you need to hear this breakdown. I'm going to walk you through who's getting hit the hardest, when it's arriving, and what you need to do before Thursday night. So here's the deal. Every major weather model right now is screaming the same thing, and that almost never happens. The European model, the American GFS, even the AI data, they're all locked in on this pattern, which is honestly terrifying. All right, so before I dive into your specific city, drop it in the comments and I'll give you updates as this thing evolves. Now let me paint you the picture of what's actually happening here because the setup is wild. So right now, as I'm recording this on Monday afternoon, we've already got brutally cold air setting across the Midwest. I'm talking 30 degrees below normal in Wisconsin and Illinois, which is insane even for January. Wind chills are already sitting at 15 to 25 below zero from Minnesota through Michigan, and it's only getting worse. By tomorrow morning, we're looking at wind chills of 20 to 30 below across the entire upper Midwest. But here's the thing, this cold is spreading fast, and it's not staying up north like it usually does. Ohio, western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, you're all going to wake up Tuesday to wind chills around 15 to 20 below. So yeah, if you're heading to work or school Tuesday morning, layer up because this is no joke. Now the Great Lakes are absolutely cranking right now with lake effect snow coming down at like 2 to 3 inches per hour. Places like Buffalo and Watertown, New York could pick up another 20 to 40 inches by Friday, which is just bonkers. There's also a quick clipper system that's going to swing through Wednesday, bringing a couple inches to Wisconsin and Michigan. But honestly, that's just the warm-up act, because what's coming Friday is on a completely different level. Okay, so here's where things get crazy, and this is what has all the meteorologists freaking out right now. The polar vortex. Yeah, that thing you hear about every winter is diving way further south than normal. At the exact same time, there's this massive surge of moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. When these two things collide somewhere around Friday afternoon, that's when all hell breaks loose. And get this, the high pressure system driving all this cold is measuring at like 1,053 millibars. For context, anything over 1,030 is considered super strong, so 1,053 is basically off the charts. The AI models are even showing 1,047, and that number keeps getting stronger with every update, which is nuts. This is the kind of Arctic air mass that's going to push freezing temperatures all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So by Friday afternoon, snow and ice start breaking out across Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle. Missouri and Arkansas start seeing it too, and by Friday night, this thing just explodes into a monster storm. All right, so let's get into the cities because this is where you need to pay really close attention to your area. Dallas-Fort Worth, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. You could be looking at your worst ice storm since 2021. Freezing rain starts Friday night and just keeps coming through Saturday. We're talking widespread power outages. Tree branches are going to snap, power lines are going to come down, and you could be without electricity for days. Houston, your northern suburbs are definitely in the danger zone for ice, and even the city itself might see some wintry mix. San Antonio and Austin, you're right on that line where it could be rain, could be ice, could even be some snow. Oklahoma City and Tulsa, man, you guys are getting hammered with both heavy snow and significant ice. I'm talking 6 to 10 inches of snow with ice on top. Roads are going to be absolutely undrivable Friday through Sunday. Little Rock, Arkansas, this is shaping up to be one of your biggest winter storms in years, no question. You're looking at maybe 6 to 12 inches of snow before it changes over to freezing rain Saturday, which is just brutal. Memphis, Tennessee, ice is your main threat here, and it looks like a significant freezing rain event all day Saturday. Power's probably going to go out across big parts of the metro, and travel is going to be impossible for days. Jackson, Mississippi. This could legit be as bad as that nightmare ice storm you had back in 2021. Birmingham and Huntsville, both of you are looking at a nasty mix of snow and ice starting Saturday morning. Nashville, you're in the snow zone big time. We're talking 6 to 10 inches Saturday into Sunday. I-40 and I-65 are probably going to shut down. This is going to be a mess for Middle Tennessee. Knoxville and Chattanooga, you're right on that edge where it's going to be super close between snow and ice. Atlanta, don't think you're getting off easy. Your northern suburbs could definitely see some freezing rain. Anywhere north of the city toward the mountains in North Georgia, yeah, you need to be preparing too. Now here's where the snow totals get absolutely insane. And the Carolinas, this is your moment. Charlotte, North Carolina, current models are showing 8 to 14 inches, possibly your biggest snowstorm in a decade. The entire Charlotte metro is going to shut down Saturday and Sunday. Roads will be impassable. It's going to be wild. Raleigh, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, you're all getting slammed with similar numbers. We're talking 10 to 15 inches. The Research Triangle is probably looking at a multi-day shutdown. This is going to paralyze the entire region. Columbia, South Carolina, you're more on the ice side of things with a significant freezing rain event for the Midlands. Charleston and the coast, this is crazy, but freezing rain could actually make it all the way to the ocean. That's because of this intense cold air damming setup where cold air gets trapped against the Appalachian Mountains. Richmond, Virginia, you're looking at 8 to 12 inches of snow Saturday, which is going to wreak havoc on I-95. Norfolk and Virginia Beach are on the eastern edge, so even a small track shift makes a huge difference for you guys. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, you're both on this really tight gradient where the forecast is super tricky right now. Best guess is 4 to 8 inches, but if this thing shifts just 50 miles south, that number changes dramatically. Philadelphia, you're near the northern cutoff with some light to moderate snow, but the heavy stuff stays south of you. New York City and Boston, you're on the northern fringe. You'll see some snow, but the real story for you is the cold. All right, so let me show you what the models are actually saying because the snow maps are pretty mind-blowing. The European model has this massive snow swath from the plains through the Midwest into the mid-Atlantic. Kentucky and Tennessee could see close to a foot. West Virginia and Virginia are in the same boat. The Mid-Atlantic corridor, we're talking 1 to 2 feet of snow in some of those heavy bands. Now, the ice forecast is what really scares me because this could be absolutely devastating for the South. Huge ice accumulations from Texas through Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. The Carolinas and Georgia could see tree snapping, power line breaking ice across massive areas. And remember, it only takes like 1/100th of an inch of ice to make roads completely undrivable in the South. Some areas could see 1/4 to 1/2 an inch or more, which would just be catastrophic. The GFS model shows everything about 100 to 200 miles further south than the European. That would put snow in central Georgia, South Carolina, and Alabama, which would be absolutely historic. The GFS does tend to run things too far south though, so it usually corrects northward as we get closer. Either way though, whether you're getting snow or ice or both, this is going to be a major event. Now let's talk about the cold, because honestly, this is where things get legitimately dangerous. We're looking at wind chills of 50 to 60 below zero across the upper Midwest Friday and Saturday morning. Schools are definitely going to be closed in Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Dakotas, because this is life-threatening stuff. Your skin can literally freeze in minutes at these temperatures. This isn't me being dramatic, this is real. And it's not just up north. This cold is spreading way further south than you'd ever expect. The Texas Panhandle around Amarillo could hit wind chills of -2 degrees Saturday morning. The freezing line goes all the way to the Gulf Coast with sub-zero wind chills reaching into Oklahoma and Arkansas. By Saturday morning, wind chills drop below zero in Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware. Sunday morning might even bring below zero wind chills to the Carolinas, which is absolutely bonkers. This Arctic outbreak is going to be one for the record books, and it's not just a quick 1 or 2 day thing either. We're staying super cold all next week with this Arctic air just locked in place through the end of January. Even by the 29th and 30th, we're still going to be way below normal across the entire eastern United States. There's also a ton of Gulf moisture around with all this cold air, which means more winter storm potential next week. If anything tries to develop, there's definitely a risk of more snow along the East Coast through early February. All right, so here's what you need to do right now, and I'm serious. You've got 3 days. Don't wait. First thing, stock up on supplies for power outages, which are super likely, especially in those ice zones. Get flashlights, batteries, non-perishable food, bottled water, any medications you need. Charge everything you own right now and get some power banks ready for your phone and any medical equipment. Make sure you've got multiple ways to stay warm if the power goes out. Extra blankets, safe heating options. Do not use generators indoors or burn anything inside. People die from carbon monoxide poisoning every single winter. Cancel any travel plans for Friday through Sunday if you can. Seriously, this is not a storm to mess around with. If you absolutely have to drive, pack a full emergency kit with blankets, food, water, fully charged phone. Check on your neighbors, especially elderly folks or anyone living alone who might need help getting ready. Bring your pets inside and make sure you've got enough food and supplies for them through the weekend too. If you're in an ice-prone area, maybe trim any tree branches near power lines before Friday. Fill up your gas tank today, both for your car and any generators, because lines are going to be insane Thursday. Look, this storm has the potential to shut down a massive chunk of the country for multiple days starting Friday. I'm going to be putting out updates Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning as this thing gets closer. The details are going to change, models are going to adjust, but the overall threat of a major storm is rock solid. Drop your city down in the comments right now, and I'll do my best to give you specifics as new data comes in. Smash that like button and share this with anyone you know from Texas all the way up to the East Coast. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications because we're going to have critical updates every day through Friday. Bottom line, we're looking at a potentially historic winter storm combined with dangerous, life-threatening cold. 22 major cities from Dallas to Charlotte to D.C. are all in the danger zone for significant winter weather. Snow, ice, or both, this is going to be a multi-day event with serious impacts across a huge area. Start prepping today, Tuesday, so you're not fighting crowds Thursday afternoon when everyone else panics. Stay safe out there, take this seriously, and remember, the window to prepare is closing way faster than you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next update on this monster storm.